Years ago back in high school I worked in a retail hardware business, along with a few part-time guys going to college. One of our jobs was accepting deliveries from the corporate warehouse. Because the truck was full of merchandise, some for our store, some for other stores, we weren't allowed to go into the trailer. The truck driver was responsible for going into the trailer and pushing the boxes of merchandise onto the rollers where we would then take possession, check them against the bill of lading, and then sign off receipt of the items. It was a smooth process until a new truck driver was hired. He was your stereotypical truck driver: big belly, greasy hair, a loud mouth, and constantly smoking. And he was lazy. The first time he arrived, he told us to unload the truck ourselves, went into the crapper, and stayed there for over 30 minutes. I unloaded the truck. It took far longer than normal, but I was diligent and did not remove any items that were not ours. This continued for several weeks, and the unloading process took away time that we could have used putting merchandise on the shelves. The boss finally had enough and called corporate. The driver must have been reprimanded, because when he backed into the loading dock the next week, he hopped in the trailer, set up the rollers, and began unloading. But he was going to get even, his version of ProRevenge, I guess. When I would grab a box off my end of the rollers and carry it into the warehouse to stack, he would push another box down the rollers as hard as he could, sending it crashing to the floor. Some of our products were glass, so it was possible something was going to be broke. I stopped what I was doing, got the boss, and explained. The boss told him no one was going to sign off until every box was opened and inspected. Bear in mind the average load was around 200 boxes. The truck driver got pissed and drove off without finishing the unload. He was hurting himself by doing so, because boss called corporate right away. We closed at 6 every evening. The truck driver knew this. He showed back up at 5 minutes before closing time and made many asshole remarks while slow walking the unloading. One of my coworkers was a good-sized country boy who liked to chew beech nut tobacco. He finally got so aggravated he spit on the truck driver's pants leg and then told him to shut up or else he'd whip his ass. He shut up, but for the next 3 or 4 months, whenever he showed up there was some kind of conflict. He would go out of his way to make the simple act of unloading a truck as difficult as possible. Fast forward to December. It was cold and the delivery was twice the normal size Christmas season. He parks, gets out, and informs us his arm is broken and therefore he is not going to help with the unload. I was ambivalent, but my big country coworker was tired of this man's nonsense. What the truck driver did not know was there was a state trooper in the store shopping. He was a close friend of my coworker, who had gone out front to find him and told him about this truck driver. Little did any of us know, in my state you cannot legally drive a big truck unless both arms are in working order. Ada may have since changed this law, I don't know. The trooper came back to the loading dock and demanded to see all of his paperwork. He then conducted an inspection of the truck. I learned a lesson that day: tickets from state troopers are expensive as hell. Truck driver got 3, and then the trooper held his license and deadlined his truck until he went to the hospital and got a clean bill of health on his arm. He had to pay for a cab to the hospital because none of us would drive him there. Little did he know, after he left, the trooper took the truck driver's license and paperwork, stuck it under the windshield wiper, and left. The truck driver came back 3 hours later with paperwork. We can only assume that he had to go to the emergency room and get x-rays. He was extremely pissed when he learned what the trooper did. He was even more pissed that we were laughing at him and stood in front of the store, waving at him as he drove off. We never saw him again. He either demanded a different route, quit, or got fired, I don't know, but I guarantee he never forgot us and our ProRevenge.